12th, which means we'll be reading from May the 14th. This is day 135 in a row of our daily Bible read. And a welcome. Without further ado, let's go over the verses for tonight. So we're going to be reading from 1 Samuel 15, 1 through 16, going through verse 23. Then we're also going to be reading from John 8, 1 through 20. We're going to follow John up with Psalms 110, 1 through 7, and then wrap it up our night with Proverbs 15, 8 through 10. Now let's get into Appreciate the Hearts. Thank you for the immediate like on the stream. Let's go ahead and get into Samuel tonight. So we're about to start from Samuel. So 1 Samuel 15, 1 through 16, going through verse 23. And it goes like this. So one day Samuel said to Saul, "It was the Lord who told me to anoint you as king of his people, Israel. Now listen to this message from the Lord. This is what the Lord of heaven's armies has declared. I have decided to settle accounts with the nation of Amalek for opposing Israel when they came from Egypt. Now go and completely destroy the entire Amalekite nation, men, women, children, babies, cattle, sheep, goats, camels, and donkeys." So Saul mobilized his army at Telaim. There were 200,000 soldiers from Israel and 10,000 men from Judah. Then Saul and his army went to a town of the Amalekites and lay in wait in the valley. Saul sent his warning to the Kenites, "Move away from where the Amalekites live, or you will die with them. For you showed kindness to all the people of Israel when they came up from Egypt." So the Kenites packed up and left. Then Saul slaughtered the Amalekites from Havilah all the way to Shur, east of Egypt. He captured Agag, the Amalekite king, but completely destroyed everyone else. Saul and his men spared Agag's life and kept the best of the sheep and goats, the cattle, the fat calves, and the lambs, everything, in fact, that appealed to them. They destroyed only what was worthless or of poor quality. Then the Lord said to Samuel, "I am sorry that I ever made Saul king, for he has not been loyal to me and has refused to obey my command." Samuel was so deeply moved when he heard this that he cried out to the Lord all night. Early the next morning, Samuel went to find Saul. Someone told him Saul went to the town of Carmel to set up a monument to himself. Then he went on to Gilgal. When Samuel finally found him, Saul greeted him cheerfully. "May the Lord bless you," he said. "I have carried out the Lord's command." "Then what is all of this about bleating of sheep and goats and the lowing of a cattle, I hear?" Samuel demanded. "It's true that the army spared the best of the sheep, goats, and cattle," Saul lamented, "but they are going to sacrifice them to the Lord your God. We have destroyed everything else." Then Samuel said to Saul, "Stop. Listen to what the Lord told me last night." "What did he tell you?" Saul asked. And Samuel told him, "Although you may think little of yourself, are you not the leader of the tribes of Israel? The Lord has anointed you king of Israel. And the Lord sent you on a mission and told you, 'Go and completely destroy the sinners, the Amalekites, until they are all dead.' Why haven't you obeyed the Lord? Why did you rush from the plunder and do what was evil in the Lord's sight?" "But I did obey the Lord," Saul insisted. "I carried out the mission he gave me. I brought back King Agag, but I destroyed everyone else. Then my troops brought in the best of the sheep, goats, cattle, and plunder to sacrifice to the Lord your God in Gilgal." But Samuel replied, "What is more pleasing to the Lord, your burnt offerings and sacrifices, or your obedience to his voice? Listen, obedience is better than sacrifice, and submission is better than offering the fat of rams. Rebellion is as sinful as witchcraft, and stubbornness as bad as worshiping idols. So because you have rejected the command of the Lord, he has rejected you as king." Then Saul admitted to Samuel, "Yes, I have sinned. I have disobeyed your instructions and the Lord's command, for I was afraid of the people and did what they demanded. But..." How you doing, Kyle? What's up, Leland? What's up, Laura? How you doing? How you doing with the real Flame Claw? You as well, you as well. Thank y'all for the likes on the stream. "But now please forgive my sin and come back with me so that I may worship the Lord." But Samuel replied, "I will not go back with you. Since you have rejected the Lord's command, he has rejected you as the king of Israel." As Samuel turned to go, Saul tried to hold him back and tore the hem of his robe. And Samuel said to him, "The Lord has torn the kingdom of Israel from you today and has given it to someone else, one who is better than you. And he is who is the glory of Israel will not lie, nor will he change his mind, for he is not human and that he should change his mind." Then Saul pleaded again, "I know I have sinned, But please, at least honor me before the elders of my people and before Israel by coming back with me so that I may worship the Lord your God." So Samuel finally agreed and went back with him. And Saul worshiped the Lord. Then Samuel said, "Bring King Agag to me." Agag arrived full of hope, for he thought, "Surely the worst is over, and I have been spared." But Samuel said, "As your sword has killed the sons of my mothers, now your mother will be childless." And as Samuel cut Agag to pieces before the Lord at Gilgal. Then Samuel went home to Ramah, and Saul returned to his house at Gibeah of Saul. Samuel never went to meet with Saul again, and he mourned constantly for him. And the Lord was sorry he had ever made Saul king of Israel. Now the Lord said to Samuel, "You have mourned long enough for Saul. I have rejected him as king of Israel. So fill your flask with olive oil and go to Bethlehem. Find a man named Jesse who lives there, for I have selected one of his sons to be my king." But Samuel asked, "How can I do that? If Saul hears about it, he will kill me." "Take a heifer with you," the Lord replied, "and say that you have come to make a sacrifice to the Lord. Invite Jesse to the sacrifice, and I will show you which of his sons to anoint for me." So Samuel did as the Lord instructed, and when he arrived at Bethlehem, the elders of the town came trembling to meet him. "What's wrong?" they asked. "Do you come in peace?" "Yes," Samuel replied. "I have come to sacrifice to the Lord. Purify yourselves and come with me to the sacrifice." Then Samuel performed the purification rite for Jesse and his sons and invited them to the sacrifice too. When they arrived, Samuel took one look at Eliab and thought, "Surely this is the Lord's anointed." But the Lord said to Samuel, "Don't judge by his appearance or height, for I have rejected him. The Lord doesn't see things the way you see them. People judge by outward appearance, but the Lord looks at the heart." Then Jesse told his son Abinadab to step forward and walk in front of Samuel. But Samuel said, "This is not the one the Lord has chosen." Next Jesse summoned Shemaiah, but Samuel said, Neither is this one the Lord has chosen." In the same way, all 7 of Jesse's sons were presented to Samuel. But Samuel said to Jesse, "The Lord has not chosen any of these." Then Samuel asked, "Are these all the sons you have?" "There is still the youngest," Jesse replied, but he's out in the fields watching the sheep and goats." "Send for him at once," Samuel said. "We will not sit down to eat until he arrives." So Jesse sent for him. He was dark and handsome, with beautiful eyes. And the Lord said, "This is the one. Anoint him." So as David stood there among his brothers, Samuel took the flask of olive oil he had brought and anointed David with the oil. And the Spirit of the Lord came powerfully upon David from that day on. Then Samuel returned to Ramah. Now the Spirit of the Lord had left Saul, and the Lord sent a tormenting spirit that filled him with depression and fear. Some of Saul's servants said to him, "A tormenting spirit from God is troubling you. Let us find a good magician to play the harp whenever the tormenting spirit troubles you. He will play soothing music, and you will soon be well again." "All right," Saul said. "Find me someone who plays well and bring him here." One of the servants said to Saul, "One of Jesse's sons from Bethlehem is a talented harp player. Not only that, he is a brave warrior, a man of war, and has good judgment. He is also a fine-looking young man, and the Lord is with him." So Saul sent messengers to Jesse to say, "Send me your son David, the shepherd." Jesse responded by sending David to Saul, along with a young goat, a donkey loaded with bread, and a wineskin full of wine. So David went with Saul and began serving him. Saul loved David very much, and David became his armor-bearer. Then Saul sent word to Jesse, asking, "Please let David remain in my service, for I am very pleased with him." And whenever the tormented spirit from God troubled Saul, David would play the harp, and then Saul would feel better, and the tormenting spirit would go away. And now chapter we're going to read. What's up, basketball? How you doing? John 8, 1 through 20. So it goes like this. Jesus returned to the Mount of Olives, but early the next morning he was back again at the temple. A crowd soon gathered, and he sat down and taught them. As he was speaking, the teachers of religious law and the Pharisees brought a woman who had been caught in the act of adultery. They put her in front of the crowd. "Teacher," they said to Jesus, "this woman was caught in the act of adultery. The law of Moses says to stone her. What do you say?" They were trying to trap him into saying something they could use against him. But Jesus stooped down and wrote in the dust with his finger. They kept demanding an answer, so he stood up again and said, "All right, but let the one who has never sinned throw the first stone." Then he stooped down again and wrote in the dust. When the accusers heard this, they slipped away one by one, beginning with the oldest, until only Jesus was left in the middle of the crowd with the woman. Then Jesus stood up again and said to the woman, "Where are your accusers? Didn't even one of them condemn you?" "No, Lord," she said. And Jesus said, "Neither do I. Go and sin no more." Jesus spoke to the people once more and said, "I am the light of the world. If you follow me, you won't have to walk in the darkness, because you will have the light that leads to life." The Pharisees replied, "You are making those claims about yourself. Such testimony is not valid." And Jesus told them, "These claims are valid, even though I make them about myself. For I know where I came from and where I am going. But you don't know this about me. You judge me by human standards, but I do not judge anyone. And if I did, my judgment will be correct in every respect, because I am not alone. The Father who sent me is with me. Your own laws says that if two people agree about something, the witness is accepted as fact. I am one witness, and my Father who sent me is the other." "Where is your Father?" they asked. Jesus answered, "Since you don't know who I am, you don't know who my Father is. If you knew me, you would also know my Father." Jesus made these statements while he was teaching in the section of the temple known as the treasury. But he was not arrested because his time had not yet come. Praise the Lord. What's up, Aaron? How you doing? Welcome to the chat. And now Psalms 110, 1 through 7. The Lord said to my Lord, "Sit in the place of honor at my right hand until I humble your enemies, making them a full stand under your feet. The Lord will extend your powerful kingdom from Jerusalem, and you will rule over your enemies. When you go to war, your people will serve you willingly. You are arrayed in holy garments, and your strength will be renewed each day like morning dew. The Lord has taken an oath and will not break his vow. You are a priest forever in the order of Melchizedek. The Lord stands at your right hand to protect you. He will strike down many kings when his anger erupts. He will punish the nations and fill their lands with corpses. He will shatter heads over the whole earth, but he himself will refresh brooks along the way. He will be victorious." All right, pink liver. Now Proverbs 15, 8 through 10. The Lord detests the sacrifice of the wicked, but he delights in the prayers of the upright. The Lord detests the way of the wicked, but he loves those who pursue godliness. Whoever abandons the right path will be severely disciplined. Whoever hates correction will die. And now, hurting the help. Hurting the help. Read me something to cure my broken heart from my Filipino ex who was toxic and mentally drained me up, broski. Hey, what's up, British girl? Welcome to the stream. Can I see you some good favor? I'll do that. I don't know about reading something for you, but I'll show you some good. I do got something for you. Give me a second. Let me finish reading first, though. Hurting the help. Saul was tormented with depression and fear, and David became his therapist. He did such a great job that Saul wanted David to stay rather than to return home. Saul loved David very much and even made him his armor bearer, ready with a harp when the torment became unbearable. But we know the story does not end there. David served Saul faithfully, but Saul became jealous and turned against David. It is a cautionary tale for us all. When our hearts stray from following the Lord, we wind up hurting those who are trying to help us. And now checking me 1 second, I'm going to ask for wisdom, clarity, and discernment on today's read, and I'll be right back. I'm going to turn off the camera really quickly, and I'll be right back momentarily. Y'all be ready. Y'all really be ready here, boy. I'm not gonna lie, it's pretty funny. It's what they talk about though in the Bible, bro. These things that I see in the chat quite often, I'm not gonna lie, they talk about these a lot. They talk about these things that happen a lot. But we're back, chat. Like Steph Curry reading the good news. Thank you, I appreciate it. Hey, another man of God out there, you know. And now, I really want to read this verse here from John 8, 1 through 20. We've been talking about this verse quite a bit, and here it goes. It finally showed itself. Okay, so we're going to start at verse 4. So, teacher, they said to Jesus, this woman was caught in the act of adultery. The law of Moses says to stone her. And what do you say? They were trying to trap him into saying something they could use against him. But Jesus stooped down and wrote in the dust with his finger. They kept demanding an answer, so he stood up again and said, all right, but let anyone who has never sinned throw the first stone. And I want to reiterate this statement right here. All right, but let anyone who has never sinned throw the first stone. So as I read these things in the comments sometimes, as I read these things in the comments sometimes, right? I really want to I want to underline this. I'm gonna underline this. All right. So when we come back to this again, which we inevitably will come back to this verse because it is a very important verse. All right. Let anyone who has never sinned cast the first stone. So all the times, right, where I see all these arguments in this chat, right, or about people declaring random things, right, when they come in here for no reason at all whatsoever, right, and before you come in here throwing around your opinions, right, or trying to condemn somebody else for what they believe or something, let's remember this verse right here. All right, but let anyone who has never sinned throw the first stone. You know, let's remember this verse right here, right? And also let's remember that over and over. Hey, my daughter's uncle's brother stole my Ethernet cord. Shut up the switch. Please don't, bro. I got a couple patch cables. I got one right here for you. I always had them on deck. Do you need what kind you need? What kind you need? You need Cat 6, Cat 7. You need some protected. I got the protected ones too, with the metal tips. I got them all if you need it. Just let me know. Don't up the switch, please. I got you. That's a great question. Hey, what's up, Shark Zoo? All right. But yeah, let's remember that verse, and I'm gonna remember where I was. All right, but let the one who has never sinned throw the first stone. And there we go. Jesus has said several times, right? He does not judge himself, right? So as we continue to learn and go over all these studies, Jesus does not judge, right? He's repeated himself and said over and over again, he doesn't judge from himself, right? He talks to God first before he makes any of his decrees, before he makes any of his statements. And he's become so close to God at this point that he can just do it at this point, right? Best answer. You got it, Unc. I appreciate it. Appreciate that. Appreciating capitalism or polytheistic, Hindu-theistic religions. Okay. But it's not really about that stuff, bro. It's always just about the message, you know? As much as people want to argue about things that don't matter at all whatsoever, it's just about the message at the end of the day, you know? It really doesn't matter. You can believe in whatever image of whatever you want to believe in at all whatsoever, but it really is about the message, right? It really is just about the message, you know? So what message are you spreading at the end of the day? Hey, honey bun, they're arguing. You don't want to join this one. Hey, how are you? Facts, you know? He didn't come to judge. God didn't send anybody to judge based on a human perspective of judgment. He came to give the world the wisdom, to give the world the wisdom and the clarity and the discernment that it needed. You know, you know. But that's the point. That's the message. You know, so it's the message. If you want to get caught up in all the other stuff, by all means, get lost. But if you if you want to move forward in life, it's about the message at the end of the day. Hey, Miss Strong Broski, do you believe you're the one true religion? Because many religions have messages. You know, you'll get your message from whatever you believe in at the end of the day. You get your messages from whatever you believe in at the end of the day. And so the point is to get everybody on the path of like actually loving their neighbors. So we all get the same message, right? You get a message from anything. But if we all know where we're getting the message from, we're all getting the message from the same place, then we're all on the same chord and we can actually begin to work together eventually one day, right? That's the point. That's what I'm saying. You feel me? But it's okay. Everybody's a wee bit argumentative, especially when it comes to stuff like this. But it's fine. You want to stand up for what you believe, you know, and that's okay. And there's nothing wrong with that, bro. There's nothing wrong with that. Do you know? Fight your fight, whatever that fight is, you know. But I'm not fighting. Fight your fight, but I'm not a fighter, bro. So I'm not I'm not here to fight you. That's not what I'm here to do. I'm not here to fight you.
Are we distracting you?
No, I'm having fun.
Oh.
Yeah, Asian girl remind me of my ex. Sorry. Oh, I wish just another variant of Brahma and Allah. I'm not going to go into all that. It does that. None of that specifically matters to me. I know God sent His Son here to help us out, and to help us stop hurting each other and using everything against each other. You know, and whatever son you believe that is, or daughter, if that's what you believe too, then that's what you believe, bro. You know, but hey, bro, are you and your boyfriend still together? Is Allah a father? If not, then no. You know, so yeah, I believe there's one God. God has definitely sent us at least one person down here to help us out in this process, right? He sent also in other variants as well, as you know, as we go through these people, right? He sent other variants as well to help us out, and that we continue to miss the message because we want to argue about things that don't matter. You know, we continue to argue about things that don't matter, you know? So at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. You know? So, but yeah, I'm not too worried about all the other stuff. It's about actually like, I'm not gonna argue with you about all this history stuff because we're not from the past. And if you know how to like tap into the past, then you let me know, right? But if you can't like tap into the past and you don't know either, so it doesn't matter. It's about the message, you know. So it doesn't matter. It's about the message, you know. You can choose to argue things that you don't know about either if you want to, but I'm not going to. Yeah, I feel you. I got a high mind too. You know, I got my time machine hidden as well. I can't tell you guys about it, but it's cool. It is what it is. You know, and today's message is, all right, but let the one who has never sinned throw the first stone, right? And I really want us to remember this verse right here, and I'm gonna read it as many times as I have to. All right, but let the one who has never sinned throw the first stone. You know, let the one who has never sinned throw the first stone. And if you can't throw the stone, then it is what it is.
We're gonna be like,
it's okay. Oh, you better put it down on the ground. Better put that stone back down on the ground. You can't throw it, so you know. And with that, chat, this is going to be the end of tonight's stream. Thank you all for joining me, and thank you always for your chats and for your time. And if you've never seen this outro, we're going to do it for the first time together. We all got that limitless core, baby. I appreciate you. I might even love you, but I'm for sure glad you woke up today. You have a great and wonderful rest of your night, great and wonderful rest of your day, and I hope to see you again next time. This is day 135 in a row of the One Year Bible stream, and tomorrow will be 136 if you want to join. Peace. Y'all have a great one. Y'all really wanna argue today, but it's okay. You know, y'all really wanna argue today, but it's okay. Go argue with somebody else. Oh man, go argue with somebody else, you know? You know? In Him we have redemption through His blood and forgiveness of sins according to the riches of His grace. And if you have done any of these things, right, and you're turning away from those things, and you know, go ahead, you go talk to God and ask for forgiveness. But if you're not, peace. I got to go. Y'all have a great rest of your night. I'm gonna see you next time. Peace. Have a great rest of your night. Are you? Hey, it's all good, man. We all got our things, you know. Y'all have a great rest of your night. Peace.